KCHW Chihuahua, 8 o'clock. It's Scott and Jean Morning Show. Jean out sick, but I've got several replacements for her. Thrilled to have back in the studio Pat Schneider. Good morning, Pat.
Morning.
All right, and of course, Pat works with the EF High School Exchange Year, and at least once a year he comes in and shows off his exchange students. Two beautiful women in the studio, Rachel and Anneka, and I'm going to let them introduce themselves in their own language. So first up, Rachel.
Also ich bin Rachel Weiss, komme von der Schweiz und ich würde gerne heute sagen zu meinen Grosseltern und meinen Eltern.
Welcome, Rachel, and tell me what you said.
I said my name is Rachel Weiss and I'm from Switzerland. I would like to say hi to my parents and my grandparents.
All right. And for someone who's very naive and not worldly at all, what language was that?
Swiss German.
That was Swiss German.
Yes.
Now, you said you speak several languages, correct?
Yes, I do.
All right. And what are those languages?
So I speak German and I speak Indonesian. My mother's from there, so.
Okay. And what's the difference between German and Swiss German? How did that come about?
Well, Swiss German is more like a bad dialect from German.
Okay.
But everybody who can speak Swiss German speaks German, so.
All right. I know in Germany, my family was from Germany.
Mm-hmm.
My dad spoke, I guess, a dialect from there's High German and Low German, and he spoke a dialect. So when I took German as a second language in school, I could barely communicate with him because it was so different. I was surprised. All right. Next we have Anneka. Anneka, why don't you introduce yourself in your own language?
Oké, so mijn naam is Anneka en ik kom uit Nederland. En ik wil graag hi zeggen tegen mijn ouders. Hi papa en mama. Als jullie dit horen, ik hou van jullie en ik mis jullie.
All right, so we got some giggles and we got Papa and Mama.
Yeah.
All right, so now what language were you speaking?
Dutch.
Dutch?
Yeah.
And you are from?
The Netherlands.
And then how does that work with Holland? You guys were talking about that before.
Yeah, so Holland is just a part of the Netherlands. It's two provinces in the Netherlands. I live in Holland as well, but not everybody who lives in the Netherlands lives in Holland.
All right.
So.
Now, your mom and dad might be listening from the Netherlands? That's very cool. So what time do you think it is there?
About 5 o'clock.
Oh, that's not too bad.
Yeah.
All right. So now, if you've tuned into, you want to see these beautiful young ladies, you can always go to kchw.org on the listen page. We have a link to our webcam, so I hope your mom and dad figured that out and found the webcam so they can actually see you this morning. So wave into the camera, let them all see you. All right. So, Pat, tell us a little bit about how this year is going for you and EF and how you came about getting these girls.
Okay. Well, excuse me. This year's going very well. These are both great kids. They're great. Their grades are good. But no, they help out around the house, without being asked, which is a great, huge plus.
Wow.
And, yeah.
I'm going to send you my daughter as an exchange student. See if you can get her to clean house.
And the funnest thing is dinner, of course, because you get to learn, what you call a fork in Dutch, or how you say goodnight in Dutch, or just those kinds of things, or Swiss German, and it just kind of makes for a lot of laughs.
And with Anneka, you probably wonder what she's actually saying to you, because it's like you said, Dutch was kind of a guttural, even more so than German.
Yeah, you got to see if there's a smile on her face or not. Yeah.
Am I in trouble? All right, so we'll start with Rachel. Rachel, what's your school year been like for you? What are just some short impressions?
So I really like it here. Chihuahua is really nice, and I feel welcome. And I wanted to do this year for a long time, and I'm not disappointed at all. And I'm really surprised how America is, and I like it.
All right. So you're a senior?
Yes.
How does tell us a little bit about your hometown?
My hometown is pretty small, like Chihuahua, and back home I'm already done with school, so it's really surprising here how long school actually goes, I guess. My hometown is small. We have way less churches than here. That was surprising, and people are way more outgoing here.
All right. So it's kind of like 7-Elevens. There's a church on every corner in Chihuahua?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you live in a town that's actually smaller than Chihuahua, you said?
Yeah.
What's the population of that town?
5,000.
5,000?
Well,
4. So it's probably a little bigger.
Well, yeah, like from the population, but like from how big, like this.
The schools are?
Yeah,
stuff?
and like the land and stuff, we are way smaller and way compactor, I guess.
All right. So what kind of sports do you like?
I really enjoyed playing volleyball here and tennis now, and I used to play back home hockey, and I enjoyed that as well.
All right. Now I heard you're a skier.
Yes,
right.
I ski a lot. We have a cabin in the Alps back home, so I'm up there every weekend in the winter.
Oh,
And I
that
really
must be
enjoyed
rough,
it.
huh?
Yeah. And I'm really enjoying skiing here too. And I'm really happy there is a ski hill that I can use.
That's very cool, huh?
Yeah.
All right, so what is it like skiing in the Alps? I mean, because most of us here have never been to the Alps, so what is it, you hear about it, but what's that like?
Well, it's higher.
It's higher?
It's bigger, it's steeper, there are way more people, and it's pretty nice.
All right, and what's it like living with the Schneiders?
I really like the Schneiders. I love them as my own family, and they're really nice and kind to me and us, I guess.
I don't know if Pat warned you, but at least at one point, usually during each broadcast, when he brings in his exchange students, he starts to cry. So just be when I start talking about you going home and stuff, you can't take that. So maybe we'll skip it this time. All right, Anneka, same kind of questions for you. So where do you live at in? You said Holland sometimes, or okay.
Yeah.
So where do you live at?
I live in a town bigger than Chewila. My school is way bigger than this, so that was kind of different when I came here. And back home, I don't know anybody who's like a freshman. And here you've got classes with like seniors and freshmen together, and it's, I don't know, that's way different.
You probably even got some 7th and 8th graders milling around sometimes. Too, right? Okay. All right. So when since you came from a town that was bigger, when you dropped into the valley here to Chewila, what was your first impression?
I was probably asleep when I first drove in here, but
You were asleep, so you missed it, huh?
Yeah.
All right. So your first impression was snoring. Okay.
Yeah. No, but I really like it here. It's a nice small town, and it's easy to go. Like, you can do a lot in here. Like, even though it's pretty small, and you can go easily to Spokane, and that's nice.
All right. Did you get to go to Spokane, have some fun?
Uh-huh.
All right.
Yeah.
And what'd you do?
Shopping.
Why is that always number one for girls? Shopping? All right. You bought some cheap American stuff from China.
Yes.
All right. So what's the name of the town you live in?
Barendrecht.
Say that again.
Barendrecht.
Okay, I've never heard of that one before.
It's near Rotterdam.
All right. And what kind of sports and things do you enjoy there and then here?
Back home, I used to play water polo, and I swim a lot. And here, in the beginning of the year, I played volleyball, and now I'm doing tennis. So, but I really enjoy volleyball and tennis as well. I kind of miss swimming, but that's fine.
Yeah, that's one thing we often talk about here in Chewila is we don't have a pool. It's a big deal. All right. So you're both seniors?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yes.
And will you graduate with this senior class here in Chewila, or how does that work?
Yeah, kind of. We got to graduate, but not like officially, but
Yeah.
we can walk up with them. And
I believe this year, for the first year, they're going to let them walk with the senior class, but they won't officially graduate because, of course, they haven't been here or learned or built
all the curriculum.
credits. Yeah.
All right. So now, how does this count back home? When you get back, will you be done with school, or do you have to do some more? I'm sure it's different than our high school college system, but how does that work for you? We'll start with Rachel.
So like I said, I'm done with school at home, and I graduated from high school, and I'm going back home and start to work, study, I guess, university kind of, and that's what I'm going to do, kind of college.
Have you picked what you want to try to do for a career?
Yeah, I'm going to try to do my career as an interior designer and go on with architecture, if that works.
All right. What do you think of carpet on the walls? I know it's not very good. All right. Anneka, same kind of question for you. What will happen with your schooling when you get back home?
well, before I left, I was already graduated back home, so this year doesn't really count. Like, it's just more for fun. But when I come back home, I will study. I will do international public management, so it's university and go on with that.
Very nice. All right. So, sorry, Yoda's in my back pocket. I forgot that was there. All right, Anneka, I want to know, do you pay attention to politics?
Not really. Like, it's interesting to see, like, other kind of politics than back home.
Sorry.
It's a really different system, and it's interesting to, like, learn about it in school and see different kind of stuff.
All right. So for us, it's been a very strange couple years for Americans, and kind of a surprise to what happened to our political scene. What are your impressions I want to know your impression, and then what you kind of see in your own country or things you might have heard about our president.
Well,
don't be afraid.
like even in Europe, they talk a lot about the American president, and they say a lot about it. And here, like, it's every day on the TV, like, it's just nonstop going on, and that's different because back home, it's not always about politics. Like here, it's a way bigger thing, and that's.
One of the interesting things is they know way more about our politics than we know about theirs.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And so they're always like, "Oh yeah, how about this? How about that?" And you're like, "Whoa, I didn't know you know all that." It's impressive.
Well, and it's kind of weird how America ends up getting all that press coverage in different countries. I think it might be bad most of the time for us in hindsight, but it is kind of strange how that happens for us. How about you, Rachel? What are your feelings of American politics, and how do they compare with what you see at home?
Well, the system here is way different, and we don't have a president, and it's really different to see how Americans go with the president and how their politic works and how they talk about it in TV the whole day. And back home, we hear sometimes about like Americans and stuff, and it's a big thing sometimes. And it's really interesting to see how we talk about other countries in America. Most of the time about themselves, so that's really funny.
So you make fun of us? Is that what you're saying?
Well,
it's okay. It's okay. I'd like to hear some of those jokes. I think I really put them on the spot. They both started fidgeting. All right, and you don't have to be scared. We're just curious. So I'll just stay with you, and then I'm going to ask the same question to Anneka. What is your overall impression of America?
In general, I guess. Yeah. Everything is way bigger here. Like, if you order something, it's bigger. If you go to the store and get groceries, it's everything. It's, like, huge. I really like it. It's really different how you, like, end up in Arizona and there's nothing, and you end up in Chihuahua and you're ending up in Evergreen State. So
excellent.
It's nice.
What is something that you think we need to fix in America?
Need to fix. It's a good question.
Maybe even something you saw that you saw it and you didn't expect to see it and you went, well, that's not right.
Oh, well, the distance from Spokane to Chihuahua, and like how Chihuahua is pretty small and you have to drive far away to get good grocery or something. So back home we're really close, and every other town is like 5 minutes away.
Everything's more compacted. Yeah. All right. Do you get to large rural areas like we have here in America? I mean, because the land masses are so much, smaller. Do you have rural places like we have here in America? I mean, like if you went out to Addie, that's pretty rural. I mean.
Oh, like those kind of spots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
When you go like in the Alps or some.
All right. So, am I? Okay, forget that one. All right. I just decided that was a stupid question. All right. Anneka, same kind of deal. What was something maybe that surprised you about America, and something you think that really needs to be fixed here?
I think, everything is way bigger, cheaper as well. It's more food. It's all about food, I feel like. And, but it's really nice. Like.
So you know how all the Americans got fat?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
All right. And something I would say to fix, I don't know, like the distances are long and there's not really like public transportation, so you cannot go easily by yourself to Spokane or like go from one place to another without a car. Like you always need a car or an airplane.
And that's really kind of sad for the infrastructure of our country. When you look at European countries and the bullet trains and the high-speed freeways and stuff, we kind of really missed the boat on that. I think it'd be a big difference in fuel savings and if our cities were connected like that too. And I've always wondered why we haven't spent money. We spend a lot of money on military and stuff. Why haven't we spent it on the infrastructure of our country and made things easier, more economical, that kind of stuff? So, all right. But you're the generation who gets to change that across the planet. Remember that. All right. You got a big job ahead of you. All right. Pat?
I think what they just said is exactly right, and I've heard it year after year. The infrastructure and being able to travel by yourself. Girls, at what age did you start traveling to the store or to a friend's house by train by yourself?
At 10, you start like going to other places.
10 years old.
Yeah, 12. Yeah.
So they're used to those systems since they're very young. So by the time they get here, they're like, "This is a great town. How come I can't jump on a train and be in Spokane in a half an hour or something?" So that's a little bit of a learning curve for them.
Yeah, I put my 11-year-old on a plane once, and then I almost scared myself to death. So we're not used to that. Right. All right. So, Pat, tell us a little bit about what's going on with EF High School Exchange, how people get in touch with you, all that fun
great.
stuff.
Yeah, EF High School Exchange year. My phone number is 936-2991. And, we're looking for host families currently, always. Kids come with their own insurance, their own spending money. Basically, I tell people you supply food and heat in the house. And when the girls were talking just a moment ago, you could kind of see how we picked these particular two. EF places about 3,000 kids each year in the United States, but typically the host parents get to pick the kiddo. And so we wanted somebody that skied because we have a great ski hill here in Chewelah. We wanted somebody that wanted to play sports because in a small town, we might not have some of the amenities like a movie theater, but they can play sports if they come to Chewelah. We usually don't cut kids off the team.
Sure.
And so those are both huge, American type things. When the kids come to America, they want the American experience. They don't necessarily want this particular American
They
experience.
might not be looking for the Chewelah small town experience.
Right, right. A lot of kids think they're going to end up in California on the beach.
Yeah.
Well, some kids do, but very few. And, but then you have to deal with traffic. You have to deal with, things that
Like
in
the
Chewelah.
girl, the one time I asked that question, what was your first impression when you dropped down the hill in Chewelah? And she said, "What did I do?"
Yeah, and Mara and my wife and I have had 14 foreign exchange students over the years.
Wow,
And-
that's huge, Pat.
And we keep in touch with all of them.
A little applause for you.
Thank you. And we keep in touch with all of them. So some more than others, but we've always had good relations with them. And it's fun. Or we wouldn't do it.
I've always envied you and your wife and Lori and her husband for doing that because of the cultural experiences you bring into your home and that you can share if you have other kids at home. You still have other kids at home?
No.
But when they do, like the Larsons, they get to share that culture with their kids and it brings something new to them that they might not expect.
Well,
So.
I think one of the fun things is, Americans, our forefathers were kicked out of every respectable country in the world almost.
Mostly criminals. Yeah.
So you get to learn about your old country if that's the student you choose.
Sure.
My last name's Schneider. I wanted to learn about Germany, so our first foreign exchange student was German. And I got to learn how to speak a little German, but learn about the culture. If you don't give a German both a fork and a knife, they starve, even if you're eating spaghetti. So it's just those fun little things, talks around the dinner table or walking through the woods or whatever that makes it a lot of fun and a great learning experience for both the family. We learn as much from the foreign kids as they learn from us.
All right. What does Schneider mean in German?
Cutter or tailor.
All right. And then my last name, Rachel Schlafman. What's that mean?
Schlafman. Pat.
The sleeping man? Schlaf?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah, it is. Schlafen.
Schlafen.
To sleep.
Yeah.
I know a little bit of. Would it be Ich spreche kleine Deutsch? Is that close?
Yeah.
All right. I speak a little German. Very little. I can say Ich bin Hunger.
That's a good one to
I'm
know.
hungry.
Yeah.
That's the only ones I remember from German classes. Ich bin Hunger, and Ich bin durstig. Yeah. I need something to eat, I need something to drink, and I'm good to go. All right, so let's see. Biggest thing you miss about home, Rachel?
Family.
Family, all right. Any kind of favorite food that you don't get here?
Yeah. Family recipe we had.
For?
From my grandpa. It's like rice with meat and stuff.
Okay, all right. It's just a tasty family
Yeah.
recipe, right? All right, and Anneka, how about you? The thing you miss most from home?
My family and friends, as well the food. Like not one specific thing, but just like the basic food like they don't have here.
And what would some of those be? Like, what's one of your favorite things to eat from home?
I don't know, just like meat for your bread, and just bread with meat, and that's just really different here.
So, are you a vegetarian, Pat? Because
No, not
I
at
got
all.
the same thing from both these girls. They're not getting enough.
Not at all. It's kind of funny. Food. There again, it's just something we all have to do is eat. So it's a great cultural thing, right?
Yeah.
So, but they are used to cold breakfast, right? Like a piece of bread, which their bread is much better than ours, and then cheese, which they have all these different cheeses. Those kinds of things are much less expensive in their countries, and then like what we would consider lunch meat or very thinly sliced meat, and they kind of eat that on a piece of bread. And when I was there, it was great, So I understand.
All right. All right. Yeah. Did I miss anything? I don't have my gene. Did I miss any questions I should be answering this girl since you're close to both of them?
I don't know. I think sports obviously is a big thing here in Chihuahua. So why don't you talk a little bit more about volleyball season or tennis?
So I really liked playing volleyball here, and tennis started, and I really enjoyed playing volleyball. Everybody tried to help me to get into it, and they welcomed me, and I get to play. That was really nice and unexpected, I guess. And
Had you never played before?
I played a little bit before, but back home it's more like the best people get to play, and the best people are on the team, and here everybody gets to play no matter what, I guess. And they really teach you how to play, and they were nice and kind.
All right. And then you got to travel on the bus and see some of the other small towns too,
Yeah.
right? All right. All right. So did you make some good friends you think you're going to be staying in touch with?
Some, yeah.
All right. All right. Annika?
Yeah, I think doing sport is a great way to meet people in the beginning. Like, volleyball started it before school started, so it was nice you knew some people before school actually started. And now tennis, still I meet new people I never saw before during school. Like, it's nice to meet new people.
I think they're exactly right. And in their countries, school sports are not a thing. It doesn't happen.
I've heard that before.
Yeah, they have sports after school, but it's a club sport. You pay to do that.
Okay.
So it's not a inclusive thing like we have in America, or at least in Chihuahua, where you go to school, you play sports with the same people you go to school with, you get to ride the bus. School spirit is always a big deal for the foreign kids. The two things the kids always say they're going to miss is the school spirit and free refills at the restaurant.
Yeah.
I suppose, that's kind of a big change. Really, when you don't see that, it's probably like what would be more for us, like kids taking taekwondo or dancing or some kind of sport or activity that isn't. So you got to pay for everything you do like that. Huh? So that's a little different. I guess we should feel lucky we have that in our schools. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's school spirit seems to be a huge deal, and
Yeah, that's really
and I
nice.
think you will remember that.
Yeah.
So here in Chihuahua, we've had over the past few years problems trying to build a new school, and that's how all the middle school kids ended up at the high school. How does our school compare to your school and like the number of kids per classroom, that kind of stuff? Rachel? Annika?
I think like back home, like there's people in one classroom is not really different, but how many people are in Chihuahua High School? About 250, 300? I don't know. 300. And back home, I think we're like at 2,000 or whatever.
Wow.
It's way bigger, and
Hard to compare.
yeah.
Now, how about you? You were in a smaller town, Rachel.
So, like, the classes are smaller, and we have all the seniors are in one class, and all the freshmen are together. So here, everything is mixed up and stuff. That's nice to get along with, but we have more specific classes for stuff. So you kind of get the schedule. That's a really difference here. You kind of choose what kind of classes you want to take and when you want to take them. And back home, you get a schedule, and you have to follow it. And we have every day different classes.
Yeah.
And the classes, like, per class, there are like 20 students or less.
So imagine this. I come from a state. It's like the worst state in the lower 48. It's called North Dakota. Have you ever heard of it? Okay, this is a place you don't want to visit, okay? That's where I grew up, and I grew up in a town of 130 people. So including the kids that lived in town and the farms on the outside of town, there were 21 kids in the entire school, all grades put together. That's how I grew up till I was like 11. Yeah, really crazy. Just and in one room you'd have 5 different grades and stuff. But what happened for me is when we came out to Washington and I went to, a normal American school, I was way ahead from all that individual attention. I was like a couple years ahead in learning, math and reading and that kind of stuff, which kind of gave me a good start going into high school and that kind of stuff. So. But just imagine 21 kids in your whole school.
That's crazy.
All right. Enough stories. Anything we've missed?
Well, if anybody would like more information on EF High School Exchange Year, it's www.efhighschoolexchangeyear.org. You can call Miss Lori Larson at 675-4491 or myself at 936-2991. And we have a really great relationship with the school. Call us up, host a foreign kid.
All right. Very nice. All right. Big round of applause for you ladies. I wish you the best of luck as you return to your home countries and start your adult lives.
Thank you. Thank you.
Right. Thank you so much for bringing in these lovely ladies, Pat. It's KCHW 102.7. We want to head back into the music. This is Andrew McMahon and the Wilderness. It's called Fire Escape, and it's on Northern Lights Public Radio.